So it has taken me about 1 hour to get rid of the aluminum spindle off this car. We got rid of the disc brakes, we got rid of the e-brake, we got rid of the caliper, we modified the trailing arm, we shortened up these just with the little insert of about 2 inches of threaded rod just so that we could weld it back together. I couldn't do a full weld because the gas tank's in there and I'd hold off, but we've got basically rid of all the aluminum. We sucked the tire in just a bit, and now we're actually running Camry rear spindles on a GM. Now this probably would have been easier if I had GM rear steel spindles, but the problem is I don't. I have Toyota Camry rear spindles. So there's little things that are different. As you can see, the Toyota Camry has like a U shape, and the bushing is actually in the trailing arm, and the W body has the bushing on the trailing arm and just a bolt that goes through the rear spindle. So I had to cut this shorter and then weld in the other one. And I only put it in there about 2 inches, so that way it doesn't look like it's reinforced, it just looks like it's in there. Now this is a stock. Now this is a stock show with stock rules, so I kind of have to leave it stock. I can't replace the whole trailing arm. I bet you with a little bit more work, I could have probably put a whole Toyota Camry trailing arm inside this and kind of saved myself a little bit of work, maybe suck the tire a little bit that way a bit more. But these ones here, all the trailing arms were broken from the Toyota Camry, so it's just easier to cut it and then weld it. Just a few tacks. As you can see, you guys seen how big a piece I put in there because I'm going to insert the clip right here to show you guys how I did that. Well, here we are 10 minutes ago, and I didn't like the camber, so I cut this little piece and I just slid it in there. Not enough to reinforce it, but just enough to do that. And then we'll give it a tack weld, and we'll slide these all back together, and then I'll show you what it looks like. But overall, the spindle is still, like, it's in there, and I don't know how it's going to work out, but we got rid of the aluminum, and we replaced it with parts I already had, which was Toyota. Now I do have to do this one, but I'm going to be starting that one actually very shortly, and we're going to be getting rid of all of the GM components again. So this time here I'm going to go a little bit differently. I'm just going to sawzall the trailing arm because I know I don't have to do that, and that bolt was actually pretty hard to take off. I'm going to take out these ones here, but I'm probably just going to cut them so you can see where I drilled holes to see if they were actually solid or if they were hollow, and it turns out they're hollow. And we'll insert our threaded rod and do this one the exact same as we did that one, and hopefully this thing here will look pretty good here in no time. So yeah, we're probably just going to take the Sawzall, cut, brake lines, cut, spindles, everything. We're going to take this side right apart. It's going to be much easier because I'm not going to even waste my time trying to take everything apart on the car. It's going to be done on the ground. And I already know how big of chunks I'm going to take out because I already took it out of the other side. So we'll take this big a piece out of both sides. And yeah, she'll be pretty much ready to go here in no time. So let's get this done, and we'll get her back on the put back together here so you guys can see what she looks like. So we have both rear spindles into this car, and honestly, I haven't seen anybody put Toyota rear spindles into one of these cars, and there's probably a reason, because they don't fit perfectly. I think it would be better to put like a W body rear suspension into this out of like alumina, or like something like that, basically. I'm not sure what else fits, to be honest, but I don't think Toyota is pretty much the easiest swap. I don't think it is. I had to modify the lengths of all the trailing arms, pretty much. I had to re-drill the struts out to a 3/4 hole to make the bolts fit, so it's not a perfect fit, but guess what? They fit, they sit, it works. Even they kind of look like they're in a bit more than what they would be on a factory car, and I kind of like that. I could have shortened the distance up here, but I really didn't want to screw with the wheelbase because a lot of my rules around me says you cannot alter the wheelbase of a car, so I didn't really want to do that. I'm going to throw the front tire on it and set it down and show you what it looks like with all the weight on it. And is this the best swap? I don't know. Is this the only swap? Definitely not. You guys can put anything you want. That's the great thing about Demolition Derby, is you're able to change out parts with pretty much everything as long as your rules say. So let's get the front tire on and get this back down on the ground and see what she looks like. So we have it coming down now, and we can kind of see what she's going to look like when she sits on the ground. that's actually pretty good. The wheels are tucked in nice. The wheels are tucked in real nice. They point in the right direction. They're in the middle of the wheel wells. You still have full suspension back here, which is nice. So honestly, I think the overall swap is nice, and it gets rid of the aluminum. So the whole reason why we put the Toyota spindles in the rear is because I wanted to get rid of these. This right here has a bad time written all over it. It looks like it's going to snap here. It looks like it's going to snap down here. It honestly looks like this thing is weak as crap. It really looks like it's going to break every way you pretty much turn it. So I'm kind of happy we did the swap. Those are going off the trash. And now the car's got steel rear spindles, which is something I do kind of like in a derby car. So, I don't know. Try it out on your own, guys. Any car that you have that has steel spindles, try swapping it in the back. Hyundai's might work. Kia's might work. Anything. Just whatever you do, if your rules allow it, get rid of the aluminum. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you back here tomorrow on Zach's Workshop.